Good morning, students. So, in last class, we have discussed the the transportation of carbon dioxide as well as the oxygen, where here the oxygen is carried in the form of an oxyhemoglobin, and also here the carbon dioxide is taken place by the three forms. One is the carbonic acid, second one is the carboamino hemoglobin, and the third one is the bicarbonate ions, that is in the form of carbonic acid. Again that carbonic acid is splitted, it is unstable, where it divides, it is splitted into H plus HCO3 minus, that is bicarbonate ions. How they are transported? That means 70% of carbon dioxide is transported in the form of the bicarbonate ions, where it is combined as first it is in the form of a carbonic acid, where it dissociates into a bicarbonate ion, where it is combined with sodium and potassium to form sodium bicarbonate as well as potassium bicarbonates. So here we will having will be having that means here will shows when bicarbonate is a negative, it does not allow positive charges, so it allows only a negative charges. So here chloride ions will move from plasma to the blood, again from blood to the plasma. Here the movement has taken place, so we can call that as the chloride shift or a Hammarberg phenomenon. Now coming to the cellular digestion, cellular respiration. The cellular respiration. So here a cellular respiration means here it takes place in a cell. Here several changes are taken place, where it leads to the producing of that means a cell is oxidation, here oxidation of the food materials. Here when oxidation is taken place, here when oxidation is taken place, here what happened? The cellular respiration. Already we know that the respiration means oxidation of food materials which produce energy in the form of an ATP. So here cell is utilizing that energy for their metabolical and activity. So here oxidation of food materials. Here if oxidation of food materials, when oxidation of food materials are taken place, here it can able to produce an ATP. Here an oxidation is taken place, here a changes which is taken place in a cell. Here the changes are taken place, that oxidation is taken place due to the changing in a cell. These cell will utilize this energy for their metabolical and activities. So here the cell is utilize the energy for their metabolical activities. So that here will having the energy is, that means it is an energy rich sources, where it is in the form of an ATP molecule. So here already said ATP is called as the currency. Currency of the currency of the cell, it is called as a currency of the cell, where here we can call as a currency of a cell. That means here the cell is without an ATP molecules, here there is no movement of that means all activities will not be taken place. Why means here when energy is presenting, we can able to do our daily metabolical and activities. If the energy is not be presenting, we cannot able to do the daily and activities. So here energy is very important. That energy which is present in our body, that is in the form of an ATP. So you can call it as a currency of the cell. That means currency means like a money. If you having a money, we can able to purchase any type of goods, If money is not be presenting, we cannot purchase. So that is the main, where here without energy we cannot able to do our daily metabolical and activities. Next, coming to the regulation of respiration. The second one is the regulation of respiration. Regulation of respiration. So here regulation means here it is controlled by the, here the respiration is controlled. The respiration is the respiration is controlled by, it is controlled by a nervous. It is controlled by a nervous as well as and also the chemical coordination. So here this is, we can call that as that is a regulation of a nervous, that is the regulation of respiration. That means here regulation, they are the control of, that means respiration is mainly a control of either a nervous system and also the chemical reactions or chemical coordination which is produced in our body. So here that is taken place by both a nervous as well as a chemical coordination. So here a chemical coordination as well as nervous which is taken place, here it helpful for the regulating, regulate means it helpful for the initiating or that means increasing the level of respiration as well as the decreasing the level of respiration is under the control of the nervous as well as the chemical coordination. And also here a nervous coordination, if you see in the nervous, here there are three types of that means here mainly two organs are presenting in the nervous system which helpful for the control of the, that is controlling of respiration. The first one is the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata. First one is the medulla oblongata and the second one is a pons orale. Pons orale. These are the two organs which helpful for the regulating of the respiration. That means the regulation, that means respiration is under the control of the mainly that is medulla oblongata and also the pons orale. So here if medulla oblongata is damaged, for example we are saying a spot dead. When accidents are taken place, we can use the word as a spot dead. Spot dead means here the medulla oblongata is damaged. Then here the respiration is not be taken place. And also here it helpful for, it also controls, the medulla oblongata will controls two major organs which are present in our body. One is that is a respiration as well as the heartbeat. Here the medulla oblongata will controls the heartbeat and also the respiration. So here when it is taken place, that means when respiration and heartbeat is controlling, if these two are very important in an organism. Why means here heartbeat is taken place and respiration is stopped, here it leads to the death of an organism. So these two main functions are taken place by the medulla oblongata. So if medulla oblongata is damaged, here it leads to the death only. That we can say as we can call as a spot death. When you say the spot death means here the medulla oblongata is completely damaged. If medulla oblongata is not damaged, here with the help of severe injuries we can able to survive all. But if medulla oblongata is damaged means it leads to the death. Why means it controls two major organs which are present in our body. These are controlled by the two major organs. One is heart and second one is respiration. So heartbeat is controlled of the medulla oblongata, as well as respiration is also controlled by the medulla oblongata. So these are the two organs. One is medulla oblongata and pons varale will helpful for the respiration. Why means we are going on the respirating topic, so we will continue the topic in respiration. When you go into heartbeat, where we will discuss the regulation of the heart or circulations. So here the medulla oblongata and pons varale are the two organs where they controls the heart beat. So how they are controlled? So here there are three centrals are presenting. One is called as inspiratory center, and second one is expiratory center, and a third one is pneumotoxic centers. So these three are the centers where it controls the body in our body. One is inspiratory center, expiratory center, as well as a pneumotoxic center. First two are controlled by the medulla oblongata, and the last one is controlled by the, that is pneumotoxic center is controlled by pons varale. So what are that? Now we will be discuss. Now coming to the first one, that is an inspiratory center. An inspiratory center. First one is an inspiratory center. So in inspiratory center, it is controlled by the, it is controlled by a medulla oblongata. It is controlled by a medulla oblongata. So here it takes place the normal breathing, that is a rhythmatic respiration will be taken place in the an inspiration, where here it is taken place, that is normal breathing or a normal rhythmatic. It takes place by normal rhythmatic respiration, normal rhythmatic respiration, where an inspiration, when we see here it is taken place by both, it is the total respiration is taken place by 5 seconds. That means here respiration is taken place by, that is respiration is taken place by 5 seconds. Out of these 2 seconds is taken place by an inspiration. 2 seconds is taken place by an inspiration, and 3 seconds is taken place by an expiration. So here we'll having, that means total in an inspiratory center. In a inspiratory center, it is controlled by a medulla oblongata, where it undergoes a normal rhythmatic respiration will be taken place. So here this respiration is taken place by 5 seconds. The first 2 seconds are taken place by an inspiration, taking air into the body, and the 3 seconds will be taken place by an expiration, where the air is expelled outside from the body. Next, second one, if we see, that is the second one, that is an expiration, expiratory center. Here we can call as the expiratory center. It is also controlled by, it is controlled by a medulla oblongata. It is also controlled by a medulla oblongata. It is controlled by a medulla and oblongata, where here it is helpful for in the expiratory. Expiratory means the leaving of air into the body. That air is expelling outside, forcibly outside, that is the expelling, that is expelling of an air, expelled of air outside. So that expelling of air outside, so this process we can call as an expiration, where here two type of muscles are helpful. One is called as intercostal muscles, internal costal muscles, and the second one is the abdominal muscles. Here one is intercostal muscles, and also the abdominal muscles. So here we are having two type of muscles are presenting. One is called as an internal intercostal muscles, as well as the abdominal muscles, where these muscles are helpful for, that means when internal intercostal muscles are contracted, here volume is decreases, and volume is decreases and the pressures are increases. So along with this, the abdominal muscles are contracted. What happens? The abdominal muscles are contracted. It helpful for expelling of the air from body to the and outside. So here expelling of air, that is expiring of air, that is carbon dioxide which is present in the body, that will be expelled outside due to the contraction of both internal intercostal muscles as well as the abdominal muscles. I means here the volume is decreases. The volume is decreasing and pressure is increases. What happens? And also due to the contraction of abdominal muscles, the abdominal muscles will contract and it pulls the chest cavity in the form of anterior posterior direction. So the expelled air, the air which is present in our body, that will be expelled outside into the environment or into the atmosphere. So that is mainly taken place by an expiratory centers which is controlled by a medulla oblongata. Now coming to the third one, that is a pneumotoxic center which is controlled by the pons orale. So next one is the third one is a pneumotoxic center. Pneumotoxic center. So here this pneumotoxic center is controlled by the, it is controlled by a pons orale. It is controlled by the pons orale, where that is presenting in the a brain, where it is acts as a bridge between the brain. So it is called as a pons, means a bridge, where it is connected from hindbrain to the midbrain like it is a bridge. It is connecting, or a brain stem. It is connected with the brain stem also. So here it is controlled by pneumotoxic center is mainly controlled by the pons orale, where when they are stimulated, here increase the rate of respiration, and increase the rate of respiration, and also decrease the depth of and also decrease the depth of respiration, and increasing and decreasing the rate of inspiration. That is here an increase the rate of respiration and also decrease the rate of respiration, where it is taken place on the respiratory surfaces. And also here it helpful for it acts as, it is also acts as a thermoregulating organ, where here it helpful for that means it is producing, it maintains, it regulates the ventilation. It also it acts as a thermoregulation thermoregulation in the form of the ventilation. Ventilation means here when increase or decreasing, here increase the rate of breathing will be taken place. That means here basically we can see in then the dog example here, the panting of the dogs panting. Example, the cooling effects, the cooling effect of a dog's panting. That means here it helpful for giving the cooling effect where it takes place in an ventilation. Ventilation means taking of air or leaving of air. Here what happens? It gives a cooling effect for the organism. So that is an example we can take and place dogs panting. Panting means slowly breathing or a quick breathing. Here what happens? Here cooling effect of the respiration will be taken place. So these are the three types of the that is the centers which is controlled by the nervous system. One is inspiratory center which is controlled by medulla oblongata, and expiratory center it is controlled by medulla oblongata, and here we in expiratory centers it is mainly decrease. That means here it is increase, that is in the exercises, vigorous exercises it is increases the rate of respiration is taken place. And lastly here either increase the rate of respiration and also the decrease of depth of respiration. It helpful for the thermoregulation of ventilation, and also it gives the cooling effect of the respiration. Example in dogs panting, that means breathing of the dogs. Here in dogs the breathing is taken place here either slowly breathing or a quick breathing. A cooling effect will be produces. So that we can call as a pneumotoxic center. Next, a chemical coordination or a chemical reaction or a chemical regulation. The chemical regulation. So here chemical regulation means here it helpful for the regulating of the chemicals. Here it helpful for the chemical regulation, that is in the form of a chemoreceptors. It is in the form of a chemoreceptors. The chemoreceptors means here what happens is the receptors are present in the brain, where here increases the rate of inspiration or a decrease. That means when concentration of oxygen is increases or the concentration of carbon dioxide is increases, here indicates the rate of respiration, and also will produce the receptors. With the help of receptors here it helpful for increase the ventilation process. It helpful for an increase the respiration. That means these are a very highly, that means these chemoreceptors are highly sensitive to the increase in the concentration of a carbon dioxide than an oxygen, where here when concentration of oxygen is increases, here it ensures the ventilation process. That is mainly by the chemoreceptors which are presenting. Where these chemoreceptors which are presenting here it may be consist of two types. So what are the two types? Now we will be discuss. So here the chemical regulation or chemoreceptors are classified into two types. One is central chemoreceptors and the second one is the peripheral and arterial receptors. Here central chemoreceptors are presenting at the base of medulla oblongata, where here it increase. That means these are presenting in the cerebrospinal fluid. The receptors are mainly present in the cerebrospinal fluid, where the here cerebrospinal fluid, cerebrospinal fluid is 7.4, that is pH. That means here it indicates the acidity nature of an organism, where here will shows will having the cerebrospinal fluid is 7.4, where it is neutralizes, and also here it helpful for the increasing the rate of, that means and decreasing the rate of respiration. Here mainly these are helpful for indicating the increasing the rate of, these are helpful for in increasing the rate of the ventilation, increase the rate of and ventilation, increase the rate of and a ventilation will be taken place by a central chemoreceptors which are present at the base of the medulla oblongata, where it shows the acidic nature, but when it is neutralizes with the help of in the form of a cerebrospinal fluid, and main function is it helpful for increasing the rate of ventilation. That means these receptors when inspiration or expiration is very lowered, here it helpful for increasing that is in the form of a ventilation. And the next one, the peripheral and arterial receptors. These are present in arterial receptors or arterial blade. It is presenting where there are of two types. One is carotid bodies, and the second one is the arterial bodies. One is we can call as the carotid body. One is a carotic body and aortic body. So here carotic body is presenting in the neck of carotid artery. It is presenting in the form of the carotid artery, where here it is present in the neck of carotid artery. And it is aortic body, it is presenting in the aorta. So it is the neck of the carotid body which is presenting our aortic body, which are presenting the two bodies. Here these are very highly sensitive to the, these are sensitive, highly sensitive to carbon dioxide and the oxygen. These are highly sensitive. These are highly sensitive to the carbon dioxide and also the oxygen, where these are helpful for increasing the rate of and ventilation. That means when it is decreasing or increases, here it helpful for the maintaining of the ventilation will be taken place by the two aortic arteries, that is aortic as well as carotid and aortic arteries, where aortic artery is present in the neck of aortic artery, and it is aortic body, it is presenting at the base of aorta. So in the arterial blade means which carries the oxygenated blade. Arteries will carries the oxygenated blade. So in the oxygenated blade, it is taken place, more amount of oxygen is presenting and it is carried. And so here during increasing or decreasing, that is the carbon dioxide or increasing the means these are highly sensitive to the carbon dioxide and oxygen, where here it helpful for the maintenance of the respirations. So these are the three types, that is the two types of the regulating a body in the respiration. One is by the nervous regulation, and second one is the chemical regulation, where here it helpful for which alters the rate of here mainly the function of the chemoreceptors in peripheral arterial receptors, means it is a main function of the alternate which alters the rate of respiration. Here these are helpful for alters the rate of respiration, alters the rate of the respiration. That is a main function which is performed by the peripheral arterial, that is carotid as well as aortic chemoreceptors. Next, coming to the last one, that is diseases. Coming to the last one, that is diseases. There are three type of diseases are presenting. One is called as the asthma, and second one is called as emphysema, and the third one is called as we can call them as the asbestos or coal mines, or otherwise we can call them as that is silicaceous, or that is cold. It is also called as what means the mines which are presenting the mines. That means in third one, the fibers which are presenting in the, that means are the fibers which are enters into the body in working of various mines. So what are that will be discussed now lastly. So now coming to the last one, disorders of the respiratory system. So in the respiratory system, there are three type of disorders are presenting. One we can call as an asthma, and second one is called as emphysema, and the third one is called as an occupational respiratory disorders. So here asthma, it is commonly it is a common respiratory disorders where it is taken place in children as well as adult when cold conditions are taken place. That means here difficulty in breathing in cold conditions. This condition which is a common respiratory disorders which is taken place in both in children as well as the adults. And here the shows here the symptoms will shows here a difficulty in breathing. Here the breathing is a very difficulty and a noisy seizing, and also feeling a tidiness in the chest. Feeling a tidiness in the chest, and also here cough with a phlegm. These are the where here it shows the symptoms are, these are the symptoms where it is taken place in the respirator, that is in an asthma, where it is a common respiratory disorder. And here emphysema means here we shown that fully blown out. Here fully blown means when expiration is taken place, that means leaving of carbon dioxide from into the environment. Here the some amount of carbon dioxide is left over. Here it is left over in the air sacs only. Why means here in emphysema, here it is shows the filling of airy blood. That means air is filled with an air sacs only. When it is expelled outside also, here the air is filled with air sacs. Why means here along with this here a mucus deposition also taken place, where here it loses. That means alveoli will loses the capacity of an elasticity nature. It loses here it loosening of elasticity of alveoli. Why means in alveoli the exchanging of gases are taken place. Here the exchanging of gases cannot be taken place due to the what happens means here due to deposition of a mucus or air filled. Here what happened, the exchanging of gases cannot be taken place. So this condition is mainly taken place. That is here most this condition is seen in smokers. Smoking, when the smokings are taken place, here the exchanging of gases cannot be taken place, where it is filled with an air or a mucus deposition is taken place, where it does not helpful for exchanging of gases. So you can call them as fully blown out, that is a meaning of emphysema. Here it is also called as a chronic obstructive respiratory disorder. Chronic means severe conditions. That means here there is no exchanging of gases. Why means due to the continuous the smoking of the cigarettes or any type, that means cigarettes, or if you are smoking, what happens here a mucus deposition is taken place on the alveoli, which does not helpful for the exchanging of gases. That is daily taken place by an emphysema. Here symptoms are the persistent cough and a sticky mucus. Sticky means the mucus is sticked to the alveoli, where here exchanging of gases cannot be taken place. So here mainly here exchanging is not be taken place, and difficulty in breathing and seizing, as well as the skin also will becomes a bluish in color, or the skin also when it is bluish in color, or it becomes a dark a brown in color also it can be produces. That is due to the emphysema, where here exchanging is not taken place in the alveoli due to the deposition of a mucus in the alveoli. Here the exchanging of gases cannot be taken place. And last, coming to the occupational respiratory disorders. Here the working places, what is occupational respiratory disorder means? Here the working places which are exposed in the respiratory system, that means when working places are, for example, in coal mines, or in fibers containing factories, or in asbestos or silicaceous, or here granites. So these are the, when they are granites are working these places, what happens here, the fibers which are released, or dust particles which are released, that are inhaled due to the inhalation, here a deposition of the substances, that is dust particles are deposited in the alveoli, where here it does not helpful for exchanging of gases. So here mainly here this condition it is called as a pneumoniasis. Pneumonia means here exchanging of gases are not be taken place, where here it takes place the difficulty in breathing. Why means they are deposited, the fibers or dust particles, or the dust particles or fibers which are working the places of various types. These are inhaled, due to inhalation they are deposited into the lungs in the alveoli, which does not helpful for, which obstructs the respiration, that is helpful, it obstructs the exchanging of gases. So that is called as an occupational respiratory disorder. So in occupational respiratory, here you have to wear the masks compulsory. In occupational respiratory disorder, that means the working of mines or dust particles, or here it may be asbestos or any mines, factories or industries they are working, here they compulsory they have to wear the mask. When you wear the masks, what happens? The mask will prevent the entry of the dust particles into the nostrils or in the nasal cavity. So that here this type of the occupational respiratory disorders can be reduced. So here there are three types. One is silicaceous, asbestosis, and also black lung diseases. Black lung diseases means here coal mining, that is coal workers, coal mining workers we can call as black lung disease. That means black. Black means here coal is in the form of a black coal. Coal is a fuel where it is produced. So coal, that is a coal means black, it is in black in color, that is deposited, coal is deposited in the lungs, where it does not helpful for exchanging of gases. So that here we can call them as the coal workers pneumonia also. That means a black lung disease is also called as cold workers pneumoniasis. Cold workers pneumoniasis. So here asbestos silicaceous, that means in silicon working factories it causing the fibers deposited, or asbestos working mines or factories, and also here in coal mines, that means here coal mines means here that is may be taken place in mines. Mines means coal is extracting, here the dust particles are released. So when these are, it may be a silicaceous, asbestos or coal mines. Here we have to compulsory, the precaution methods are to compulsory to wear the mask, the prevention of the inhalation, that is inhalation of the dust particles into the body. So here a black lung disease is also called as cold workers pneumoniasis also. And here these are the various where here main precaution is here to wear the masks. When you wear the masks, what happens? We can able to reduce these type of respiratory disorders. And these causes here the same here, what is the taken place here? Mainly the deposition of these fibers or these toxic substances in the alveoli. Here it does not helpful for the exchanging of gases is not be taken place. So that condition we can call as an occupationally respiratory disorders. So this is the topic of respiration. So in next class we will discuss a new topic.